Hey guys, it's Michael Todd and welcome to The.Cult.Of.Vintage. Today, you guys, we're going to do something different. I am going to go thrift shopping, and I'm going to go thrift shopping with only this $10 bill. We're going to see how much I can turn this $10 bill into. Now, we are going to go into Goodwill, and the reason that I've chosen to go into Goodwill is because it is a national thrift store here in the United States. I know some of you are watching from abroad. Now, that said, I have my own personal misgivings about Goodwill. We're not going to get into it. And I'm going to set that aside because I think that it's important, if we're going to make this work, to try to make this as accessible for as many people as possible. And I think that utilizing Goodwill to do this is going to be the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in with just $10. We're going to see if I can find as many items, or maybe it's just going to be one item. And we're going to see what I can't do. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this item or items available during a live sale. I am filming this on a Monday. I probably am going to do that tomorrow, Tuesday. I'm having a live sale on Misty's channel, Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter, and I'll put a description down below if by some odd incident you are not subscribed to her channel. Keep in mind, we are going to have that sale Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I'm not going to say what the item is during the live sale, and we'll see how much it sells for. And what I would like to do is then to do a follow-up video. I will put in this video how much that item or items sold for, and we'll look at the profit. And then we're going to take that money and reinvest it into our reselling business. And I would like to continue to do this kind of as a video series so that you guys can actually see the process to it. Now, one thing that we have to keep in mind is that while we have $10, I'm going to try to maximize this $10 so far as the items that I get or item that I get. I also have to make sure that I am taking out the time that it took me to get here, as well as the time it is going to take me to get home. I am going to take the time that it takes me to sell that item, which is like 2 or 3 minutes, as well as the time that we have invested in packing, shipping, and invoicing that one or one items. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. And then what I will do is I'm going to put all of that information in the video, and we're going to see what our total profit was after we take out all overhead. And we're going to take that money and we're going to reinvest it in the next video. So I'm going to zip it and let's get in here. You can kind of see it's a little blown out right now, but let's do it. Okay, here is our Goodwill from the exterior. I've been in this Goodwill one other time, so I don't know if we're going to find anything. We're going to try to make the most of it. So let's get inside, guys. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go on the interior. They did have a little bit of leftover Easter decor. We're going to try to avoid that. They've got some shoes underneath it. You know, picking up holiday decor is always really good, especially if it is during season. But I will tell you this, Christmas usually will sell the best year round. Easter, Valentine's Day, Halloween, I will say, sells well year round also. And below that, we do have some kitchenware. Up here, we've got that great green vintage blender. We've got a newer oyster blender over here. You know, general merch, eBay sellers can definitely find value in those things. However, you know, here at The.Cult.Of.Vintage, we are going to focus on vintage and antiques. Now, they do have a little bit of clear glass. Obviously, this is kind of like your barware and stemware. You can find some pretty pieces in there. And I will say that these did catch my eye. They obviously are wine glasses. They do have that satin glass effect to the bottom. It's very floral detail. They do have some tumblers there. Wasn't quite enough to really make a set. So I did decide to go ahead and leave these behind, but I mean, I think that they were quite pretty, I will say that. No manufacturer that I could identify. Now, these guys I definitely knew by sight. This is, of course, the Corel set. It is in the Snowflake Garden. We do have these coffee mugs here. We've got some underplates as well as a small salad plate. I was a little confused. I didn't know what was going on. The mugs were priced individually at $1.99. Obviously, the tag here says set of 21 at $4.99. I did count. There were 21 pieces at $4.99. That is a pretty good deal, especially if you're looking to use it. I will say that there isn't a whole lot of resale value, so I kind of kept that one in the back of my mind. Now here we're looking over some figurines. Again, really didn't see anything that you can't find, quite frankly, at a dollar store, so I did decide to leave those behind. You never know, though. We wanted to give it a good once over, and then I spotted this. This is one of those old, or what I thought was old bath signs. It did appear to be like an acrylic or lucite, and then I flipped it over and I was like, oh, Durats, it's got a barcode on it. However, it did have a manufacturer on it, Kirch. So what I did do was run an eBay comp list on it, and there was some really good value on this. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I was really going back and forth over whether I was going to get this sign. I did decide to hold on to it just in case, because, you know, my luck, you set it down and somebody would snatch it up. Now, we did see this. Let's see, where it is. I didn't let it go. And I will say that that clock face was actually glass. It's not plastic. We had this, like, little 90s Mexican or southwestern style pottery. It obviously had a barcode. That's not the kind of reproduction kind of stuff we're going for. This was interesting, but again, I'm like, really? Here we've got some Rachel Ray. Obviously, these are coffee mugs. These are great. Again, mid-century colors here. Quite frankly, there could have been some resale value on those, but it's just not really what was calling me, because just because something's vintage or has value doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pick it up, especially when you're working on a budget. You got to make sure you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. And talking about bang for your buck, I went back to this Corel, but unfortunately, I did see several listings where there were a number of different pieces, and we're talking like 20 to 24 that were going for like $13. One place that you can definitely get a big bang for your buck are toys, believe it or not. Some modern toys, but more so like set 60s through early 2000s. Here, for example, we do have the Fisher-Price Little People. This is the circus train. Unfortunately, there were only 2 cars. There were no people. There were no animals. I will say, if you can find a complete set of that, maybe missing a person or two, you can go for like 75 to 80 bucks. So that would have been a huge profit if we were able to get it. Unfortunately, the 2 cars, no people, no animals, they didn't really warrant anything. I didn't find anything else in the kids' toy section. However, I did find some kids' books. The graphics on these were absolutely phenomenal. They were bright, they were crisp, there was no major damage. And I will say that the majority of the books were from the 50s, 50 through 55. Frog and Toad here was from 1976. So I kind of was going back and forth as to what to do here, because they were priced at $1.99 individually. So I really was trying to, because I found quite a few. We got Woody the Woodpecker, The Night Before Christmas. We got the Lone Ranger. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? At $1.99. I did decide, and I was only going to choose 3, right? Because I couldn't afford, so I was really struggling. Maybe You Should Fly Your Jet. That book alone can go for like $30, y'all. Dennis the Menace here. I decided I was going to go ahead and get them all, right? And I was like, well, I can't sell them all because I only have $10 to work with, so I'm only going to be able to sell 3. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to figure out which 3. And then I ultimately decided I was going to get the 3 here, the bath sign. I was happy with it. Again, we only had $10 to work with. These are the remaining books. I did decide to go ahead and get them because they were super good, and I didn't want to leave them behind on the shelf. And then I was like, should I get the books instead of the bath sign? What should I do? Find out. Well, guys, guess what? The children's books were 3 for $1.99. So we got, 3, 6, 9 books. It was $1.99 for 3. So our total spend was $9.50 in total, including the bath clock. So there's Goodwill. There's Goodwill. There's the receipt. Proof. There's proof right there. Well, that was most definitely a pleasant surprise. I'm glad to see that. I do think that there is still profit kind of dividing them up. I think what I'll do is, the bath clock will be sold by itself, and I'm probably going to do two different lots so far as the kids' books go. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm gonna wrap up this section of the video now, and I'll see you in just a couple of seconds. It'll be tomorrow for me, and we'll calculate what it is. But yeah, let's do it. Alrighty guys, well, it is a couple of days later since the last time you saw me on video. Obviously I did an outfit change, but I have successfully completed the sale of both items. What I think I'm going to go ahead and do is I will drop an iCard right up here. That's going to be a direct link to the sale. Today is Wednesday at 8:55 a.m. So I'm going to drop that link to yesterday's sale that happened Tuesday on Misty's channel, Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter. And in the description of the video, I'm going to go ahead and timestamp where I sold those two items. I will timestamp it at the beginning of those two items being offered for sale. And it's usually like a minute or two to actually sell through the item. I'm going to caveat it by saying I'm just going to go ahead and give you those totals. So for the bath sign, we sold that for $37. That gave us a profit of $34. The books, remember, we got 3 for $1.99, so we were in that for $6 approximately. We sold those for $22, so our grand total was $59. That said, we had $9.50 in it. That means we made $49.50 in profit. Now, as I said earlier, we want to make sure that we do take out our time as well as the cost of goods that it would take for us to ship the item. So we have 2 boxes and some packing paper. That's pennies on the dollar. So we're really looking at, so far as our shipping supplies, we're looking at about $1.50. Keep in mind, it did take me, I'm going to say, an hour total. That would be from sourcing the items, selecting the items, and having those items up for sale, as well as the time that it took me to ship, pack, and invoice those items. We've got about an hour into it. Now, that's all going to be situational depending on what you want to pay yourself. Now, here's the thing. What are we going to do with that leftover money? My recommendation, or what I'm going to go ahead and do, is I'm going to go ahead and reinvest 100% of that profit back into my business. In other words, I'm going to take that, and we're going to, for the sake of making it easy on me, we're just going to call it $45 in profit, okay? We're going to take that $45, we're going to reinvest it, and that's going to be part 2. We're going to take that $45, see how many items or item that we can purchase for that $45, and we're going to sell that. We're then going to keep track of what we sell that for, and we're going to turn that and reinvest it. So that's going to be part 2. Part 2, and it will be dedicated. I'll have it in the title as well as the description of the video so you can kind of keep track. I'm going to try to have these videos as be like a bonus video instead of it taking the place or the slot of one of my regularly scheduled videos. I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to see how fast we can turn that $10 into $1,000. Yeah, I said it. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Now, hey, look, you might be able to take that $10 and make $1,000 right off of the bat. You know, those are those kind of like unicorn moments. We're going to work in the reality based. Hey, you never know what we're going to find for that 45. It might jump us to the $1,000. You just never know. It's going to take a little time, a little patience, but we're going to do that. I'm going to wrap up today's video and be on the lookout for part 2. And that's when we're going to go shopping with that $45 and only that $45. And of course, I will conclude that video by letting you all know how much I made in profit there. Alrighty guys, it's about 9 o'clock. It's time for the thrift store to open. I'm going to get inside, see if I can't find some more stuff. I can't film in here, so, you know. So until next time, guys, remember, keep it rusty, crusty, and dusty. Bye, guys.